There are sounds which you definitely don't want to hear during your rides, and especially during the races. And this is one of them. During Bike Adventure 2024, I rode with Wolfpack Speed tires, which for majority of the time were fine. On hardpacked, I believe that speed is not good either, nor for front nor for the rear, but because the terrain there was very changing, it was fine to do that on speed. However, on the second stage, it was a bad luck. Probably can call it this way. After a very small landing, I somehow made a puncture on the tire, so immediately I understood that things are not good. I stopped, and apparently it was not just casual puncture but side cut. It was basically the first time I ever experienced this on the side, especially during the race, so I had not much experience what to do with that, and based on what I heard from the others, if it's side cut, adding the plug don't necessarily gonna work, so I decided that I would better spend that time to install Tubolito for the first time as well, rather than trying to add the plug and then stopping if things go wrong, finish with Tubolito anyway. So it was trying to minimize the time waste. We'll see whether it was good choice or not. The funny thing is that I carried this with most of my essentials during the stage races, and not like super heavy, but it's still almost 300 grams including the Tubolito inside. On the second stage in the morning, I said, funnier enough, is that how many times I have to carry this without actually using it, and I wanted to leave it at home, but at some point I decided that it's better take it rather than not, and inside I have spare CO2, as well as the loader of it, tire levers, the best ones from Park Tools, and what else? The Tubolito itself. So yeah, I did this for the first time in like many years, because usually I go tubeless and I don't see the point of using the tube, but the time has come. Actually, I don't have the image of how cut the tire was, but basically it was direct cut through the whole sidewall. So it was like 1/3 of the whole direct cut, and then just reaching the thread. So maybe the plug itself would have helped, but we will never know, because I already got away from that tire, which actually would have been pretty good test and experience what we can do with it. But anyways, we can see that I'm pretty fast to do all those things, and thanks for all my tires replacement and testing experience in the past, I was quite efficient. However, once I moved to a point when I had to apply the air, but at that point it had to bed around the valve, I noticed that it's just getting stuck. My first impression and assumption was that maybe somehow I flipped the tube inside, and that was the reason why it's not bedding, because basically it's not able to inflate itself to the full volume of the tire. And I had to redo the same process just to make sure that I haven't done things wrong, and yeah, I made things well in the first go. But now I had the tire without the air, I don't have CO2 cartridge, and thankfully Jan helped me on that, giving his spare CO2.
Yeah. CO2 cartridge. This one. Thanks a lot. Oh, this one.
It's okay.
You can take this one.
No.
I mean,
okay.
you will have it
No,
at least.
okay.
Or 2-1. Or if I find you, I will give you back.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And I managed to inflate it at some degree, but it didn't bed on the sides. It was trial and error. I also tried to use the hand pump, which I decided to take it as well with me. So yeah, a bit of extra weight, but at the same time, it benefited in the end of the day. So after playing around with it for almost 15 minutes, I managed to do everything to the degree where I was able to run it. And one thing is that I realized that with tubes, I probably shouldn't go as low tires pressure as I would normally go. But at the same time, once I inflated it and it partially bent, I decided that, alright, I should reduce the air a bit because I'm not going on the stone-alike tire for remaining almost 2 hours, because it was not the longest in distance, but quite hard stage in 4-day stage race of Bike Adventure. So I lost like 15 minutes in whole this procedure, and then I tried very intensely to catch guys in front. I went from 13th position to 15th or maybe 11th. Anyways, I was in top 15 for sure, and then I dropped to top 50, which caused a lot of bottlenecks, and I even missed one turn, which added yet additional time penalty to the overall stage experience. So if you're interested how the race itself unveiled, there are 4 onboards from Bike Adventure 2024, and the best thing about these onboards is that there was another Lithuanian which carried the camera as well, so that means we have 2 onboards switching from one to another, also showing side views. So this time it was quite unique onboards, and also we rode together for a few moments here and there, so it was engaging in a way for sure. So if you're interested, make sure to check those onboards. Am I curious what you would do in such scenario, because do tire plugs work in a way? Actually, I forgot that. No, it's not there, but I have quite nice multi-tool, except the fact that for multi-tool purposes it sucks big time, because those are very small, but for emergency cases they are fine, and also it includes the plugs there. So it's quite nice for race day to have everything in single piece. It's Performance 9FTL from Pro, and for sure for race the weight is very important, right? So it's 66 grams. I used one plug in the past on Dolgova's tire when we've been riding in Spain. Other than that, this is also usually in my back pockets when I'm doing racing. So the question which I wanted to ask you is, would you try to install the plug? Maybe you could somehow fix it with the duct tape, because I had it as well, but at that given moment I haven't thought about it. Once I inflated the tube, I could see the orange of the bolito, but it wasn't as bad that it would coming out through the side cut, so I assume that signifies that the hole itself wasn't as bad, and I could have run it with plug potentially only. But now we'll never know. For next day I installed Pirelli's RC XC Pro Wall Edition, which I used quite a lot this year, and those tires are extremely good on hard packed. On wet they are not so good, but in general it very much depends what type of wet we have. If it's muddy alike, not much of a tires would help you anyways. So that said, just share your experience on the side cuts and the plug usage, because I'm naturally curious. Hopefully I won't have to use that technique anytime soon during the race especially, but if things happens, it's better to be prepared. Like I've been prepared to swap the tire quite fast, just because I'm doing that tire swapping quite a lot. So I'm looking forward